cartoons will look like in like another 30 years?
I don't know. They probably won't even look like cartoons.
Probably like a live immersive experience where you're part of the movie that you're watching. Probably like put on a goggles or a helmet and you're like literally inside the movie that you're watching.
Or some cat ears.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Welcome
to
another
episode
of
the
Perks
in
Paving.
Wow, well done, guys. That was impressive. That was impressive.
Welcome back, everyone. We're joined again by Vinnie.
What up? How we doing?
And
How are
of
you guys
course,
today?
Doing well. Thanks for coming in again with us and hanging out.
Of course, as always.
and I'm Paige.
Hey, Paige. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
You're looking great with
Mark didn't get the memo.
Mark. Where's the Halloween? What could you be dressed up as right now? What would this pass as?
I would say a pavement rookie because I think this is the exact shirt I wore in my photo for my email. Like it's not for my work email.
Oh,
Okay.
Good memory.
A pavement rookie and a cat with a trick or treat.
I've worn these ears so many times. Oh my gosh, these have
Really?
been like a staple. Anything work related, I feel like cat ears come out. You know.
That there is like a protocol for that, right? Where it's like, hey, we're all dressing up at the office. Like, there's definitely how many side group chats happen after that where it's like, well, what are you wearing?
Yeah.
What do you
Cat is just easy.
What's too far? What's
just
on? I'm with it.
Yeah, we're slacking this year for Halloween. Typically, one of our very good friends, a woman that Paige went to high school with, hosts a Halloween party every year.
Really?
So it's like usually
we won the Halloween costume last year.
Well, wait. Yeah, take me through it. What were you guys?
So we were Rip and Beth from Yellowstone, the TV show.
Oh yeah, you guys brought that up, and I said I had never seen Yellowstone, so I apologize for not getting the reference.
It's good.
What are your top 3 Halloween movies that you've ever seen?
I feel like that's.
Are you guys
really
not
up
big
we
horror movies?
tried a couple weeks ago, and we were like, okay, let's watch something scary and get in the Halloween spirit. And we watched like the first 10 minutes, and we're like, this is not for us.
Weren't in the mood for that kind of thing. I'm not a big horror movie guy. It's like the one genre of movies I haven't really partaken in or haven't delved into or anything like that.
Yeah,
but
I agree. I'm not really a big.
More of an action
I'm
comedy
more of
guy.
a fall person than a Halloween person.
Okay, yeah.
Like at your house, are you decorated for Halloween or for fall?
100% for fall.
Okay. Now, do you guys switch it up around Halloween, or do you guys just stick with the fall?
No, Lindy notoriously hates Halloween. Like, she will tell everybody, she's like, I'm just not about the whole gory, scary, whatever. And like, I get it because like we have kids and whatever, but like they're, Veta, when we go to Veta, my daughter, when we go to like Lowe's or Home Depot, we have to stop by the scary section.
Aww.
And she likes to hit the buttons on like the little talking things, and they scare the shit out of her every time. But she loves it.
She's not going to want to go back to Lowe's and Home Depot.
No, she like does it to herself. She's like creeping slowly up on these things, and then she'll like hit the button and run away, and it'll be like, and she's just like running back to me. But
that's so funny.
It's
is
fun.
Is she old enough for trick or treating yet, or?
Yeah, we trick or treated together for probably like the last 2 years now. She's 4, so she's she started getting when she got the first fix of candy. The first year she was like, oh, this is lit. Let's go.
What's the costume for this year?
Yeah.
I think she's dressing up as from Encanto, the sister with all the flower. Have you seen Encanto?
No.
Encanto is
again not a Disney
I've
movie
heard
guy
it.
either.
I've heard it's good though.
Yeah, like
I haven't seen it.
It's definitely went top 10 for me.
Okay.
Which is saying a lot when you think of like the catalog of Disney movies that we grew up on. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, she's being the sister who is like got the flowers.
Okay.
Louisa? No, that's the big strong sister.
Okay.
I don't know her name.
Okay.
Anyways.
Are you more into new Disney or old Disney?
Probably old.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely old Disney. But like
the classics are the classics.
Yeah, with the kids, it's like fun now because I get to watch them all again, and like it's like it's like the first time they're seeing them.
Isn't it crazy to watch like Snow White again and see how terrible the quality of the actual cartoon drawings are? And
it was made in like 1937.
I know, but when I was younger, I felt like it was put together very well.
Yeah.
And I loved it. I mean, I still love it, but now I mean, compared to what we have now, the quality just isn't nearly.
What do you think
good.
cartoons will look like in like another 30 years?
I don't know. They probably won't even look like cartoons.
Probably be like a live immersive experience where you're part of the movie that you're watching.
Mm.
Probably like put on a goggles or a helmet and you're like literally inside the movie that you're watching. You probably
or some cat ears.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Man, so how's things going over in the pavement group side of the office today? Let's get a little paving report. That deep sigh doesn't.
We had a lot of jobs come in approved last week, and now it's all about scheduling. So yesterday we spent about maybe 2+ hours just hacking away at 10, 12 jobs. We have about 5 more to go through today. So
it's that time of the year where it's just trying to get everything crammed in before it gets too cold and the weather changes. But it's been a very busy week. It doesn't feel like a Wednesday to me.
No.
I'll put it that way.
Yeah. A lot of coordinating. I mean, just making sure sites know that they're supposed to be closed on certain days and that they send out letters 3 weeks in advance and that, we actually get the letters out when we say not us, but like us conveying to our clients so then they can send out the letters to who they need to go to and letting them know like how many days concrete's going to be closed down for. So if people have limited access to certain areas of the parking lot and, it seems like from an outsider, I feel like maybe, you can probably say because he would come home before he joined here and he's like, okay, you just call, you schedule something and then that's that.
I would say that this week has been a crash course. This is my 5th month with the company. I would say this week has been a crash course of like everything that can go wrong, even though it has nothing to do. A mill machine breaks or someone runs over a conduit line and now a street lamp's out. Like,
yeah,
you just don't project for these things to happen or anything like that. And then it's how you kind of react and respond and recover from it to make sure we get everything where we need to go. So,
yeah, we're like, we're feeling that a little bit over here on the marketing side too, just because we decided like we've been very, reactionary.
Okay.
Is that a word?
Sure.
This is like the 4th podcast this week where I've asked, is that a word? We're not like set up to be able to have content running out because we started launching so many things, and then we sat down and we're like, all right, as a team, we got to figure out how do we get a week ahead on all this content? Yeah. How do we get like, stuff being edited, not same day? And so what that requires is basically doubling up this week, like grinding it out so that we're ahead that 1 week.
Yep.
So it's shooting a couple episodes of each show. It's, scheduling out all these posts and creating like all the graphics ahead of time. So on top of that, we learned that Brian is actually out of town at a trade show. And so when we were planning for this last week, I didn't look at the company calendar. I'm sure I could literally just go and see. I didn't assume he was not going to be here. And so
because believe it or not, people think that like my family, they'll be like, is Brian like in the office with you every day? Yes, he comes here and he is working in the office with us when he's not doing other, traveling stuff for work or with his family or something. But
so, like,
he is here and he is active here.
Yeah,
So
I mean, we record his show live every single morning from this studio. So with him being out, that means we have to record essentially a week's worth of stuff. Sorry to spoil the surprise if you think these next couple mornings are actually live.
Yeah.
They are live. We're live in the chat. It's just that they're recorded in a little bit in advance because he's, obviously people know that that's the case if they are on his story and they see that he's at a trade show, but then we're posting live from Pittsburgh, the next morning. So it's like you have to edit those in advance. So we weren't planning for that on top of doubling down on all the other content this week. So that's why you guys came in this morning and you were like, where's everyone at? We're all running around like crazy.
Yeah. Yep.
So feel it.
And it actually kind of works out now that you guys are trying to do a little bit more in advance because I might be traveling a little bit next week. So it's going to work out for you guys.
Yeah. I'm excited about getting ahead. I mean, it's been all hands on deck. And I think that people are starting to talk, like you said, about your show, and like other people are mentioning to us that they're seeing us. So I think it's working. The efforts are there. Like people are starting to really engage in Brian's channel, and some viewers are crossing over from different shows, and
it's just incredible to see the volume of content that this little studio is pumping out. I mean that in a very serious way, and a very complimentary way to you guys, because it's unreal with the number of links and YouTube clips in our company group page. It's like there's a lot of content coming out. So kudos to you guys.
Thanks. Are people getting tired of our
No, they're
constant
fun.
links that
The
we're
one
sending out?
no, the post last night with the how to dodge a pothole if you don't, or
Oh,
what you
yeah,
have to
that
do
was
to
great.
dodge a pothole if you don't call the pavement
Yeah,
group.
that is
That
great.
was hysterical.
Yeah.
Does that take like a team effort, or just one of you just have a
So
little
that's
inkling
part-
of an idea?
That's part of doubling up.
Oh, okay.
Your boy didn't have a post yesterday. We were like, how do we be efficient? How do we find something that people will, it still directs the message of the company.
Yeah.
But it doesn't take a lot of time to post a meme. You know what I mean?
I'm glad we're talking about it. I'm glad you brought that up because I had a couple of questions because I know what conflict kind of looks like on our side in terms of, well, should we go this way or should we go that way or this sub or that sub? But what does that look like for you guys on this side? Like someone has an idea like, wow, that's a great idea. But then how you go about it, like what does that look like with you guys internally in terms of debating ideas or resolution?
The job description starts with, do you have ADHD? And are you able to do multiple things at once? And we basically all just ping ideas off of each other all day. Some of them are like, oh, we need to act on that now. Some of them are like, more, hey, let's table that and let's figure out what that looks like. But there's the crazy part about having a team of creatives that are genuinely creative people is that like the flow of ideas is constantly evolving and you're constantly having to figure out which one of these should we run with. There's never a shortage.
So with that, I mean, do you guys ever butt heads? Like someone thinks it's a killer idea and someone thinks it's an awful idea. And then, I mean, obviously you guys all get along super well and are super close. So how do you guys tackle that and like still remain friends?
I mean, I think it's the same as how you probably tackle issues over there. Like we all have a mutual respect for each other and we're all trying to do the same thing. Yeah. We're all trying to get to the same destination. So if you have that in mind and most of the time, like shutting down an idea doesn't have to do with it being a bad idea. It has to do with it not having the capacity to do it the right way. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I would rather respect you and be like, hey, we don't have the time to give this idea the attention that it needs, but that doesn't mean that we won't. Yeah. So let's not just rush this process right now. And if you can explain why you're hesitant, then that person has a chance to come back and be like, well, I thought that through. I have X, Y, and Z planned. This is how I want to do that. And then you're like, okay, well, let's talk about that now. But it's like sometimes even just asking those initial questions will allow the person with the idea to think, have I thought through this enough to actually expect a team of people to run with it? And usually it's like, no, let me do some more work.
Yeah. In terms of collaboration, I think one of the coolest experiences I've had in this company actually happened last week and ongoing into this week too. But we have a rather large job that in Paige's office, we had Paige, myself, Brian, the CEO of the company, and Mike Hugin, the COO of our company, all in one office, hashing this project out.
That was so cool.
It was awesome.
Yeah, it was
awesome. And
awesome.
just to see that, these people who are the faces of our company are elbow deep in this, making sure we do it the right way, that we're spending the client's money the appropriate way, and what's best for them. I was completely blown away sitting in that room.
And what's really crazy is like this company is different. Brian talks about it like we're not bought. Like everything that runs through here runs through the people who run this company. Mm-hmm. And like even down to like, he's in these meetings with you talking to these major companies that we work with, and then he leaves there and he comes over here and he's talking to me about graphics or like putting money towards ads or like, all these things in the marketing side. And it's like his brain is in so many different places. Yeah. It's honestly one of the most impressive things is the fact that like he's able to keep it all so straight, and so that's kudos to Brian. I know we're on his channel right now. I'm not trying to brown nose, but dude, it's crazy.
Yeah, I would totally agree with that. I mean, he's such a visionary and it's so exciting to be a part of and follow along. So we're definitely very lucky.
What is the difference this year heading into the end of summer, going into the fall? Like, where were you last year at this time versus where you're at right now?
I had just joined the company in August, so I was only a couple months in, and I was still learning and trying to soak up any bit of knowledge that I could. And obviously, I'm still learning, but I mean, things were they're hectic now, but they were very hectic then just because you're learning and trying to take on such a large load at one time and try to do the best. You don't want to let anyone on your team down, and you're just trying to impress impress whoever, whether it's a client, a coworker, whoever it is. And so it was stressful, but it was fun. And I would come home from work and I'm like, how cool is it that I get to work with, Todd, who's in Boston, and all these people. Like I was building all these relationships with people within our company who don't work here. And I loved feeling like I was a impactful part of that team. And that is what I love, I think, the most about being here. And same thing with the meeting he was referencing last week. Like, we all had an important part of that meeting, but it took all 4 of us to come up with the best plan. And it's fun to be able to put ideas together and feel like what you're saying actually makes a difference in what's going to actually be executed at the end. So that part's fun. But yeah, I mean, things are still hectic. I have him as help now, so that I guess that's a little bit different. But
for now,
yeah.
Now for me, so I was still practicing physical therapist, but we had just gotten back from Eli and Angel's wedding, like about a year ago out in Colorado. Not that was the first time I met Brian, but he was obviously out there. So that was like the second or third time I'd ever talked to him or met him. And then I don't know. I know that fall is typically her favorite time of the year.
Yeah.
Moving back up here, and I guess maybe it was just a little bit of what I'll call a warm streak, but like with the weather the way it is now, it's still in the 70s this week with the leaves changing. I gotta say, it's like creeping up as my favorite time of the year right now.
Yeah. Oh, that drive-in from 19 through, like, back through to get to this building is just absolutely incredible.
Yeah. I feel like I drove down the road the other day and they were like super red leaves, and then when I left to go get lunch, they were like on the ground.
Yeah, I know. I noticed that too, but they are beautiful. I have a video from last year, and because it's not the same unless the sun's out. I feel like if not, it doesn't look as nice. And we've only had a couple days this week, and one morning was just like half and half.
I posted a little video from my corner little desk where I have 2 windows and just nothing besides fall leaves. So.
Oh, that yellow tree outside the back. Have you seen it?
No.
You have to check it out. I mean, it is the most stunning color of leaf on this tree.
Maybe we'll go get a picture out there with the cat ears.
Yes.
Cover image for the show.
Yeah. It is one of the most beautiful trees, though.
Yeah.
So
other than that, life's good on the Perkins side of the office. Is there anything we want to say or mention before we head out? We talked about last week going to the gala. Give like a little recap of like what your experience was at the Steel City Impact Gala. So
me personally, that was my very first gala, but it was incredible. It was really well done. Our guy Trey, who has been on this show before and works for the company, did a really phenomenal job emceeing. That is not something that's very easy to do, whether how experienced you are, but he handled it like a pro. And it's just nice. It's always nice to see and work with everyone in the office, but to be outside of the office and hang out and talk with everyone, including our boss, is always a great experience. So,
no doubt.
And to listen to the stories, especially Tyra's story specifically, I feel like a lot of people have said it. I mean, I knew the basics about what Steel City Impact was doing in our community, but I didn't know the specifics. And to hear how the contributions are being used, and to see how much of an impact they're making, and the story that she said about them going rock climbing, I thought that was incredible, and how they were scared to go up, and one kid had a little courage and he went halfway and then he came back down, and then he finally had the courage to make it to the top, and then sure enough all the other kids started following, and hopefully that's a good representation of what their lives are going to look like if one of them starts to be on the honor roll, or get into college, and whatever life takes them to, and hopefully the rest of them are able to see, oh, they can do it and I'm going to do it too, and hopefully that community is able to provide a lot more experiences for them because of events like the gala. And I was so proud to be a part of it, and so glad that Brian is on the board and has made us more aware of how great of an organization that has been. So.
Just to see like what kind of impact is being made, or how are we making an impact. Sure, people work for corporations that donate money to charities and people volunteer, but like just physically see firsthand like this is what we do, why we do it. It was awesome.
Yeah, I've been in situations where like the organization or whatever is mainly part of it to say, they're part of it, or to like put their name on it, check a box. As a company, we give back X, Y, and Z. Right. But like, you know, to go there, that was the first time other than the exhibit we did, because the exhibit, all the ticket sales went to Steel City Impact.
Okay. I don't know if I knew that actually.
Yeah, and so we had Tyra actually up on
I do remember
the
her
stage
being
at the
there.
event, and that's why.
Okay.
Anyways, all that to say, like, that was my first experience, you know, working with Tyra and Brian in that capacity, and like then to see, you know, him go through this whole year and then see him there in his element and like what that actually meant to him, like the stories of, like you said, with how these you know, these funds are changing these kids' lives and like the efforts. Like Brian's there with his hands. Like that's the other thing. We're talking about how he's like on both sides of this office. This dude's running nonprofits outside of here, not just putting the Pavement Group logo on it. Literally, like in the day-to-day, like it's pretty wild.
Yeah.
Shout out to that whole team.
Yeah, it's pretty special to have a boss that does stuff like that. I mean, I've never had anything like that. I know you haven't since I've worked with you. I don't know about you, Vinnie, but I know like through college and grad school and even after, I mean, I've always liked being a part of organizations and giving back. And it's been really nice to jump on board with the great organizations that Brian's involved with, because he does like to support some really great things, especially here locally. So glad to be a part of that, and it's been a lot of fun.
Well, this has been fun. Thanks for coming into the studio, hanging out on our side of the office. Want to let them know where to find you guys.
Yeah, so we are on the Brian Hess YouTube channel. You can find the Perks and Paving there as well. And just to kind of give a little direction of where we want to take this show in the future.
Okay, hit me.
We are going to be having some guests, hopefully, in the next few episodes. And what we really want to do with this show is kind of take our story and find other people who have switched careers, are thinking about it, and what was going through their head, what their thought process. And if you're in that same boat, like listening to other people's stories, getting the courage, or finding out what you need to do to make that initial step and change your life, really. So
love that.
Stay tuned.
Sounds good.
We'll be
Paige,
back.
Anything else?
Nope. We'll get into it more next episode.
All right, last question.
Oh, geez.
You go trick or treating. What's the candy that if you got an open bowl, you could do any candy. What candy are you each picking?
Kit Kat.
Reese's.
There you have it.
What's yours?
Skittles.
Sour ones?
Sours, yeah, but that's only if I want my mouth to be like cut up for the next week and a half.
Those ones are so good.
Yeah. Anyways.
All right.
Sign us
We'll see you guys next week. Thanks again for watching.
Bye.